This is Dr. Cecily, and welcome to my channel, Fulfilling Your Destiny. Now I'm going to get right into it now. There's two I told you about in my previous videos about how God got me down here and how I prayed with a group of people. We have been praying for, just a recap, from 2003 to 2005. And we finally came down here in September 2005. And we had picked up like 3 different states. We ended up in Atlanta, in Clayton County, south of Atlanta, about 35 minutes. And I want to try to tell you a little bit about the culture. Now, I told you about the driving. I told you about, the people eat. Everybody's out eating. That's before the COVID-19 and this incident with George Floyd and all that. But before that, restaurants, people eat out. Okay, so that's the kind of culture. But I want to deal about you dating in Atlanta, and I'm talking about you Christians, you empaths, you that have they're very sensitive. Beware, especially if you're older. Say for instance, this is your second career and you're in retirement, so you do have benefits. There is a culture down here. First of all, you have to realize that this is Sin City. So you got to realize when you come down here, are you going to date or you're not going to date? If you feel like you're weak in your flesh, then you shouldn't date. You shouldn't date at all. Do not date. No, not at all. If you feel that you are, and another thing too, if you get up in the fence, don't date. If you feel like your flesh wants to, you want someone to hold you, don't reach out to flesh. You will always know, because your flesh will always want to reach out, just like Jesus did in the Garden of Gethsemane. He wanted to reach out to his disciples and ask them to pray. You're going to have to get to God yourself, because God's going to teach you to be a leader. And I believe that this is the time and season, that this is the year of Jubilee. And the year of Jubilee, even with the COVID-19 and with the murdering of George Floyd, and all this is coming out about the institutional racism, which you can see on my channel, Dr. Cecily, Transforming America. And I can give you insight about my law enforcement and my officer and sergeant background. But this is a different thing right here, because I want to tell you what the climate of this is down here. And you can go on YouTube and look. First of all, let me tell you, AIDS is great down here, okay? AIDS is big down here. But people seem like they don't care. What I mean like that, because this is called Sin City. So, but with that being said, you got to realize you're coming down here to fulfill your destiny, your God-given destiny. So you're going to either focus on God, or you're going to get swept away. You're going to get swept away and you're going to have to get back on track. But for those who do not know God, you can confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord, and forgive yourself and ask him for forgiveness. He is faithful to forgive you, and you will be saved. Now, am I going to tell you go to a church? No, I suggest to you, you get your head in that word. You get your head in the word, because what's God about to do? He's about to do something in the marketplace, and you have to be ready, women. You have to be ready. And so that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you get ready to go somewhere, understand, especially with black people. So down here in Atlanta, it's called Metro Atlanta. And with that being said, the Cobb County is all Cobb County, Decatur, all of them, they're separate counties, and they're separate entities in themselves, which means you can get everything taken care of, your taxes and everything right in your county. But it's really small. You think it's big, but as far as the black population, they know each other, especially when it comes to men. Let me tell you, warning Christians, the ones that's retired on a second career, you raised your kids, you are still young, you're still active, you still look young like me. Thank you, Jesus, because God did this. He restored me, and I'm going to have a testimony on that. I will show you a license of how I looked when I first came down here. But God will, actually, somebody told me, they said, you look younger and younger every time I see you. That's what she said. She said, every time I see you, you look younger and younger. That's God, because I got in position, and I got in my place. But the thing is that recognize when you come down here, men are looking for you. I had a man tell me, oh, no, I'm looking for somebody like you because you pass childbearing age, because they don't want no children. But they'll have a whole family, like the lady said. Look on the YouTube channel. They'll have whole families and be trying to talk to you. Because you have to realize that men are actors. But for Christians, because we're so forgiving and we're so nice, you got to check out everything. So with that kind of attitude, you realize that they are, because I would go down to the post office and they would be like they're in droves. They're looking for new meat. So you're like, the woman called me a cougar. I said, what's a cougar? I have been so sheltered in Christendom because I was in full-time ministry. I didn't know a cougar just meant a mature woman, but still look young and still active. And so with that, I understand that they would come in droves at the post office, and they come all smiling and stuff, but they're full of games, and they want to get you off your purpose. Realize that. If somebody can't respect you being celibate and your beliefs, then you need to leave them alone. And then God will show you. God will show you. If that person doesn't respect your boundaries, then you need to get away from them. And then realize too, sometimes you're going to have, I had a friend and I was with them in the marketplace. Now, the thing about it is God's going to be thrusting people out to the marketplace. But one thing you have to do, you have to stay to the principles of God, because God was have to come through a righteous vessel. And that's why I said that with the COVID-19, with all this murdering, with our black brothers and sisters, that God is still not through with these wars and rumors of wars. God is not through. He's not through with us yet. He said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that means there has to be righteous rule on the earth through leaders. So God is looking for leaders to rise. He's looking for his people to rise. He said the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. That's why I believe in this Jubilee. I've been talking about Jubilee. Now, Jubilee is not only going to be for the black, the brown, the yellow, the poor, and the minority. It's for his people, because God got to have a righteous people. And see, you got to have a thirst. If you don't have a thirst, and this means this, do you have to get up at 5 o'clock and pray anymore? No, but have a consistent prayer. Be consistent. God said if you're faithful for a few things, he'll make you reward over a lot of great things. So this Jubilee in 1998, and the reason why I'm stressing this, because you got to realize the wealth of the wicked is about to be transferred over to you, women of God. That's why you got to stay clean. You got to stay righteous. And just know when you come down here, people are going to see that. One lady told me, oh, I could see that you were a giver. I'm like, wow. She's watching me behind the tree. That's what she said. So people are watching you. The enemy watches you. He watches you. And that's why you got to set boundaries. You got to set boundaries for people. God, and stop all this foolishness with these Christians. Giving away your rent. Stop doing that. Because if God wanted to give away a coat, that means you got 2 coats. Because I asked God, why would you give away your last coat and then you don't have no coat? You're in the same situation. No, that's if you have an extra coat. So we have to stop all this nonsense. Cry out for wisdom. I've been crying out for wisdom and discernment, because in this marketplace, this is another area. This is another demonic dimension. So you're going to have to be righteous. There's going to have to be a righteous vessel with God. And I'm not saying you're going to be perfect. You're going to slip up sometime, but it has to be a righteous vessel so God can pour through you. And he can speak to you and he can give you directions. I'm telling you, no man has told me what to do. God told me when I came back, don't go to Clayton County, move here. Because God wanted me here for a purpose. First of all, he wanted to take me through something. After my friends left, but it was God, because God, I knew it was coming to an end, because I was going to be controlled and intimidated. And I knew that they were not going to build a church. Okay, it was good. But it was good that I was afflicted, because when you go through your pain and your tribulation, and you know what, stop putting your head down, poor me. Stop rejoicing. You know what, I really confused the devil. When things start coming high, because God told me in 2018, so you're about to go through something. I'm like, wow. I said, okay, well, every wave that's come, God, I'm ready for it. And I stood on it. Did I feel like jumping off the porch? Yeah, I feel like running off the, but I know I wasn't going to get into my destiny. I know that was the enemy. I know there was those forces, demonic forces, that's tried to drive me to kill myself. Oh yeah, yes it did. Because see, people don't want to tell the truth. So I was telling my mom and a friend, my mom was like, don't say that. I said, that's why Christians kill themselves. Because they don't tell them how much stress they are under. And you have to. God said, come to me and reason with me. Tell God what you're feeling. Because those are the demons. Because remember, and don't think it's strange, because look what the devil told Jesus. Told him to jump off that mountain just before he went and laid his life down. And then because he laid his life down, then the whole entire world has an opportunity to be saved if they just ask him and have faith. This is a water of faith. He said, when I come, will I find faith? Let me talk again about Atlanta. When you come down here, Atlanta, you have predators down here. And the majority of them are either married. And if they're married, a lot of them are down low or low down or whatever you want to call it. But they have other kind of, they have sex with men. And what I'm saying to you is because what I heard, what a man told me himself, a young man, on how most of the men that he messed with were married men, okay? And they're very nice, and they're very charismatic, but realize they'll come to get your destiny. They'll come to steal your destiny, because this body is God's body, and you cannot connect it with a harlot. And when I mean that, you can't lay down with them, because you lay down, you'll be laying down with other demons, and then you have to get delivered. So I'm saying to you, when you come down here, recognize that they're waiting for you, and they can tell when you're new, because you know how you walk and how you look, and then they never seen you before, and recognize they know each other. They know each other. Yep, they know each other. So it may look big, these counties may look big, but Metro Atlanta is really small, especially when it comes to the black population. They know each other. You got cousins, uncles, and everything. But you got to come down here and say, for God I live and for God I die. And you got to stay in place. And you got to keep seeking God. He said, those that hunger and thirst after him shall be saved. You got to be like this. As a deer panted after the water brooks, my soul do pant after thee in a dry and thirsty land. So if you decide to go out, ask God, is this the person that you want to date? Now, this person is not respecting your boundaries of being celibate. If this person is, you see clearly that their intentions are not to either be just a friend, then you need to let that person go. You need to let them go. You need to let them go. Because this is a season where God, if you don't let them go, God going to break them off. Or either you're going to fall in sin. But this ain't no time. With the COVID-19, with this, they're going around hanging out black brothers and sisters. 2 was found in California. We need to be, and I'm telling you women, what you need to do, call out, cry out. I've been crying out for my God-given destiny since I got here. Who prays like that? I've never heard about it. I've been calling out and crying for God. I want my God-given destiny. Because seeing your God-given destiny is all the purposes and the provisions for God. And in your perfect will of God is everything you need. And you can come against any devil in the perfect will of God. Okay? Because the angels of the living God will camp around about you. Somebody told me one day, come on, just show me a picture about this little lion, right? This lion. And the lion was being eaten by the hyenas. So I guess they thought I was going to come and run into their group, right? Please. One could chase 1,000, 2, 10,000. I know I've been digging in deep in the trench. You got to dig a trench in the ground and say, no, I'm going to get my destiny. So with that being said, you must come down here with integrity. You got to treat people right, even when they wrong you. God said you cannot repay evil for evil. You got to repay evil with good. And you got to bless them that curse you. I got a guy now, he been sending me information, and the information be bogus. And you know what I just said? I just that was a lesson for me. Just fact check it. And then I just told him, bless him. I just told him that the information was wrong. Well, that's the second time you sent me wrong information. And guess what? When I fact checked it, this information had been changed was erroneous since 1995. So what you want to do, go post stuff? So that taught me a lesson. A lot of things that you're going to be going through, your trials and tribulation, is to find out what's in you. What's in you. That's right. And then I had a friend. She was a friend. Yeah, she wasn't saved, but I had boundaries. I knew I wasn't going to do this and I wasn't going to do that, and I did. I passed all my tests, even when she tried to get me in the threesome. But why would I want to sleep with her? The guy she had. I mean, it's almost like men. It's like the reverse. You know, men try to pass you around. Well, she was trying to pass me around to her man. I'm like, no, that ain't gonna work. No. And so what they would do, they would concede. The thing is why you been. She said I disrespect her. I didn't. It's because the Holy Spirit offended her. Because I told the truth and I didn't bite my tongue. But then I knew I had to let her go because I don't have time. I don't have time for foolishness. If I got to walk alone by myself. And that's the place you got to get. But you got to continue to worship him. When tribulations come, start praising him. When I got ready to get my PhD, my aunt said, "Sister, you need to start praising." And it looked like I wasn't going to make it. It looked like I wasn't going to make it. It looked like I wasn't going to make it. But you know what? I started celebrating God. And God ended up giving me, and this is another thing. You have to, please, women, do not, because if you say you got a PhD, if you say you got certain credentials, be honest. Do not be fake, because they're down here tearing up Juanita Bynum because she said that she had got 3 degrees in one. And one guy, and I didn't say it. One guy, he's from academia, and he's also a minister. So he broke it down. There's no way you can get a bachelor's, a business administration, master's, and a PhD. 3 in 1 in 7 years. It took me since 2012 to get this right here. And this is my thesis. This is my dissertation. I'm just waiting for my so please. And then I had a girlfriend that I was at Wayne County with, and she came down here to Atlanta, and she was calling down to the hotel guest, and I asked her, well, are you a doctor? She was saying, I'm Dr. Ann. I'm Dr. I said, well, when did you receive your PhD? Because I hadn't seen her in a while. We had both been to Wayne County Academy. So also listen to my channel, Dr. Cecily, Transformational Leadership. It talks about my concrete, viable solutions on what they're going to do to reform. It's more than reforming police, honey. That's just a little fruit of it. Everything needs to be reformed. Down from the cops having immunity, they don't need to have that no more. Not only that, and then also they should be sentenced, and no more delays in that system. They just let it draw out. No. So it's just, if you have anybody you're interested, look at that. Now, getting back to this, your God-given destiny. I've been crying out when I was with my ministers I came down with in 2005 and 7. We were crying out for $100 million plus. So after they left, I knew they were leaving because they couldn't control me. And then God had something different for me. And it was okay. Did it hurt? Yes. But you know what? I kept on rolling. I kept on taking care of my mom, full-time caregiver, multiple pre-existing conditions. But I sat there and I did, and I was faithful. And God gave me the grace to do it, because my mother would have been dead. But listen, you got to find out who you need to help. I'm glad I didn't bring my sister down. You're not made to help everybody else. If he did, he'll give you the resources and he'll give you the money. He'll give you the money. When you come down here, stop gossiping. Do not gossip. Gossip is a lying spirit. Did you know that? Don't be down here gossiping. Stop. Look, if somebody no, it's okay to talk about somebody. Like I told my mom and my friends, look, if you're going to talk about somebody graduating, somebody got married, somebody got a new job, somebody moved to the place they wanted to be moved to. But guess what? Only good things. They graduated. They got a business. Other than that, I don't want to hear it. Because I hated the spirit of gossiping. Because it's a lying spirit. So you cannot continue to be gossiping. If you're not building up, you're tearing down. And then God said life and death cannot come out of it. You can't get life and death out of your tongue. He said life and death is in the power of the tongue, but you can't come and do both. And so what you have to do for you to get to your God-given destiny is you got to be thirsty for it. I mean, I'm crying out every day for the year of Jubilee. Now, this is how I think this is going to affect not only the people, and I'm not going to say it's going to happen right away. If you just now getting saved, God might have to take some things out of you. You might have to go through some things. This ain't an easy walk, but guess what? I wouldn't have it any kind of way. Because like when that lady, let me get back to the apartment, the lady gonna show me this little video about, oh, it's good to have somebody on your side. So here I came down here by myself. The male ministers that I was and the female friends that I was with, they left. So only person that's really the patriarch of my family is Jesus. I've been asking him for every decision. Where to move, where to go, what to do. See, so when it gets to that, when you're dependent totally on him for everything, then that's when you know you're on target. And you know when it seems like everything is coming against you, know you're about to birth that thing. So just know, I've been praying the year of Jubilee since 1998 when I was over the women's group. And the year of Jubilee, and now I didn't even think of how I was going to apply to blacks. Because think about it, we ain't never really been free. We just free in our mind. But then too, Jesus said who God set free is free indeed. See, and that's where the faith of God comes in. But the year of Jubilee is this. I got to read this to you because I've been declaring and decreeing this. This was the title of my women's group. And now I see it happen. They said they're giving people money. Some people, rich people, are giving black people money. Look. So this is what I've been praying. The year of Jubilee. Let me explain it to you. I'm going to go to the book. In short, it meant that If you're in debt, you get out of debt. If you were, and I don't believe it's just for God's people. I believe that this is what God had ordained and instituted. And because think about it, why were you born? Look when you're born and see how much debt was in America. See, some of that debt that they could have cleared out. And see, that debt, they look for us to pay. So really, you were born into a debtor society. But the Bible said this: the 50th year after 7 cycles of 7 years, when specific instructions about property and slavery took effect. Look at Leviticus 25, 8 and 55. And I'm reading the Compact Bible Dictionary. And it said this: Leviticus 25, chapter 8 through 55. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But it said the word Jubilee comes from a Hebrew word that means to be jubilant and to exalt. The word is related to the Hebrew word for ram's horn or trumpet. The Jubilee year was launched with a blast from a ram's horn on the Day of Atonement, signifying a call to joy, liberation, and the beginning of a year for doing justice and loving mercy. Now, don't that sound like this about to happen? Because we're going to have justice for all. God is doing this. They can't even find out. They can't even find out a cure for the COVID-19. And don't take that vaccine, y'all, because you're going to have COVID-19 in you. The word is, okay, so here, the 50th year was a special year in which to proclaim liberty through all the land. Listen to this. Specifically, individuals who had incurred debts and had sold themselves as slaves or servants. Don't it sound like us? They still profited off of us. They profited off of us from the slavery, from the cotton. They profited off of us from the sharecropping, was taking care of their babies and cleaning their houses. And building the car industries and building the White House and all these infrastructure. Oh yeah, we were the first. The blacks were the first architects, okay, and engineers. And so these are for people who sold themselves. But see, we were sold to others, were released from their debts, and were set at liberty. It says all land belongs to God. See, that's why the 5% that think this is God's land, their land, this is God's land. Land could not be sold, but land could be lost to another for reasons of debt. In the year of Jubilee, such land was returned to the families to whom it was originally given. So you know what? Since we are God's people, we are going to get land and we're going to get out of debt. And I mean, that's for God's people. And there going to be no one person. That God's coming for a body of people to be leaders. So I'm telling you, women, when you come down to Atlanta or you go to another city, get to know the culture. Look on the YouTube and find out what type of people are you coming to, because men are looking for you, women. When you got your retirement, you got your Blue Cross, your Blue Shield, you got your medical benefits, because they feel that you're not a liability. You see, that's Satan that's coming to steal your God-given destiny. Do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. Be on alert. If you weaken your flesh, no dating. Because down here, they got AIDS, and then they got the COVID-19. But this ain't stopping these people. No, just get on YouTube. You see a lady had AIDS, God treated her all nice, and then she ended up moving back to Chicago, married the guy that she had left. No, had a good time. Close your legs. You know, go and get you a cold shower or something. Cry out to God. And another thing, too, I'm calling all the wailing women to cry out for this injustice that's going with our black men and with our black people and our black families, the Sandra Blands, the George Floyds, the Rayshard Brooks. No, we got to stop this. Every area and every facet in America got to be changed, okay? Every facet. But in the meanwhile, women, get yourself in place. If you're not in place, get yourself in place. And may it take a while? Wow. Yes, but then God may do it quick, because he got to have righteous leaders in place. And I plan to get my land. I plan to get my stuff. And I plan to do everything God called me. He already gave me. I got 2 businesses already. And I'm not bragging, but I'm closing my mouth. Look, do not tell people. I think one time I told somebody about me getting my PhD, and she told me, don't nobody care. But guess what? You got to care. It's not about what other people think. Be like Jesus. You've been with me so long, you don't know me yet? And just walk in integrity. Let your light so shine before men, so that they can glorify God in heaven. Yes, your light got to shine so God can get the glory. Hallelujah. So be blessed. When you come and get ready to move, find out where you are in your flesh. Seek the Lord if you don't know him. Seek him some more if you do. And cry out to the Lord for your God-given destiny. Because I don't want to go out of here without my God-given destiny. And so just be safe and know that I love you and I'll be praying for you. And if you have anything in the comments that you want me to talk about, I will. So be blessed. See you next time.